This is why you died.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to This Is Why You Died, the show that's hiding patiently under your bed and waiting for you to stick out a hand or a foot over the side, and then we're going to get you. I, as always, am Sir Ian Dangerous, a.k.a. your Uncle Frank, and joining me are Ryan Ross Live and Dan March of Madness. Hello, boys. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Here we are again. Here we are again.
Funny.
Once more. Unto the breach, dear friends, once more. All right, so we are back. We are well into season two now. We're in the fourth episode. Fourth. I've got numbers, Dan. They're not my friend.
Time for a
That's
second.
a bad
Fourth
sign when this
episode.
movie has a number in it.
That's true. That's off to a bad start. Our movie today does have a number in it, but this is the fourth episode of season 2 of This Is Why You Died. It's my movie today. It's my choice, but we got to give some shout outs here. I forgot to do this the last episode, so this time I'm going to make it a habit going forward. The top of the show, everybody go to beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. That is our home base with all of our links. We have a YouTube channel now. If you're not watching this on
Hi,
YouTube, you listen to this on the podcast.
Hi, YouTube.
We're on all the podcast apps if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, we do have a Patreon. We have a Patreon now. Thank you to our patrons. We're doing extended editions of the show now, before and after stuff. Us just lots of content there. And then also we have merch. Dan, March of Madness, currently
Always wearing it. Always wearing the beanie.
wearing
I love the beanie.
a
It's so
beautiful
comfy.
bit of merch that Ryan Ross Live put together for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank
I
you,
knew we
Ryan.
had to get Dan
I
a
love
beanie.
it.
I knew that if I did, we were safe.
Man.
Oh, he'd never take it off. Still being piloted
Yeah.
by two little mice under there, I believe.
They're right under here.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yep.
don't take them off.
But
But they make excellent lasagna. So
Hey, that's
what are
fair.
you gonna do?
I can't
Okay.
blame you there.
you got to come over to my house and cook something. But also,
You don't need Dan.
This
You just need
show-
the mice.
this show is going up right before Halloween. It's the most wonderful time of the year. So happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh,
Yes.
That's all I can do for copyright purposes.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. It's Halloween.
You know
It's
what
so
it also
awesome.
means for me is it's everybody's dressing like K-pop Demon Hunter Day. that's what
So many
that's what
purple
Halloween's gonna be
wings.
for me.
Yes. Oh, your house. Wait, your two little girls are dressing up as K-pop demon hunters, and then you and the
They
wife.
are, and the wife, hopefully she will be the main girl with the purple hair, and then I'm gonna be the manager, the one
Yes!
that's on the phone,
Bobby!
like booking it. Yeah,
Bobby's the best
Bobby, I'm
character.
gonna be Bobby. Yeah. So if all works out because everybody in the world, every girl that age is ordering this costume, so it's kind of like we have to find and make sure the costume fits. But if it all works out, there will be a family photo of the entire K-pop Demon Hunters crew.
Ryan, you know what this means? We have to dress up like demons.
There you go. Yes. Just be the
Here's the
Saja
thing.
boys.
Have you watched the movie, Ian?
No, of
Well,
course not.
first off, you should. It's good. But second off,
It's so
second
good,
off,
Ian.
it's
Come
not.
on.
They're not normal demons. They've got like purple pattern lines and stuff. It's a specific thing. If you just dressed up like a demon, no one would get it.
They're like demons with vibe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, fair.
exactly.
I don't know what the child the kids are using these terms. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there and hoping it sticks. But
You got me there for a second. You used it correctly.
It worked.
I don't know if you
It
meant.
worked.
I don't know if you meant it in the way that it's used, but you used it correctly.
I used it well enough, and that's what matters. I've still got it.
Sure.
All right. So we are here to talk about some horror movies today. We are the podcast that chooses prompts at random out of our buckets of the beast, 666 prompts. And then based on those prompts, we are inspired to choose movies that we then watch and come back here to talk about. And this week, it is my choice. I got to
Wow.
pick a movie based on the prompt Asylum, which was that was hard to narrow it down. I'm not going to lie. It was tough.
It is pretty
It was tough,
broad.
but
Did you get close to something? Can you name one or two movies that you got close to?
Oh, Ganjam Haunted Asylum was like
right. Oh,
Oh, it was so close. It was like, it almost happened. I almost changed my mind the last episode when you said you hadn't seen it, but
right.
We'll come back around to that at some point. Instead, we watched, and we are now going to discuss today, for all of you, Session 9, a very underseen psychological horror movie from 2001.
Which is not District 9.
Not District 9, no.
Not District 9.
No.
Different movie.
Different movie.
Very different.
In case anyone wondered. It's a different movie.
We figured this out last episode. Ryan, we saved Ryan from watching Alien Jesus Shrimp. And instead we watched a movie about David Caruso and asbestos,
yes, that's true.
Almost as meaningful. But so guys, before we watch this movie, I had seen it a few times. Boys, had you seen it at all? Ryan, we're going by default. No.
0 times. No.
0 times.
Dan, you hadn't seen it either.
No.
Okay.
This was my third. This was now my third time watching it. This is
my
third
time. Third time watching it. Mm-hmm. All right. What were your thoughts on it previously? Like, you positive memories of it? Like, what did you think about this prior to coming in?
You know what's funny is, like, I remember the first viewing being like, I did not like the movie. And then I remember when I remember revisiting it because I wanted to give it another try and like liking it better the second time. So it was cool to watch it a third time and find that like I actually was kind of in this medium space of the first viewing feeling and the second viewing feeling. So, well, yeah. So,
all right. Well, we'll get into
finding
that.
the faults. We'll get into it.
It's so interesting to me that Dan consistently has different experiences based off of when he watches a movie. I feel like that's something different between Dan and I.
That's what I think was great about films in general is that you take life experiences and it changes. Like it's beneficial to watch classic movies or like movies that affected you in like your 20s or when you were a teenager. Watch them in your 30s and your 40s. They just can hit differently, whether you like them and they age properly or they completely hit differently. Like we had watched The Exorcist in the past and that hit differently as a father than when I had watched it before kids. So it's like, I think that you can take life experience and then rewatch a movie and it just like hits you in a different way. That's what I freaking love about filmmaking.
I agree with you.
Great example.
I agree with you, and I totally see where you're coming from. I think what's interesting is, and granted, I am also in a position where like I haven't had kids or I'm early into my 30s, so I haven't really had a lot of opportunities to like view movies decades apart as an adult that can actually like verbalize most of my opinions.
He's calling us old, Ian. Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm like, what's interesting is I love the fact that the way you describe it is that you come back to these movies and you have such varied perspectives. I feel like I always have kind of the anchor point of what I thought originally, and then like it can be more like I can take more nuance and I can see like things that I might not have noticed before might have deeper meanings, but I've never really had it where it's like really separated from my original opinion to the degree that you describe. So I find that very interesting.
He's like a trial judge where he makes like a declaration and then it's going to take a lot to override precedent after that is pretty much what he's saying. Like this is what I feel about the film. And either I will deepen my resolve on that, or I will maybe slightly change my.
It might sway, but it's still in the same ball. I mean, that I feel like that's just kind of the way I run most of my life. Is kind of like I know how I feel about things most of the time.
He knows what he likes and he likes what he likes, but yet he's here on a horror show as a man who's never watched horror movies his entire life and has opened up his mind to possibly enjoying horror films. And I commend you for that, Ryan. I commend you for coming along with us on this journey. And I appreciate you for being here for our dedicated listeners and sharing your insights as someone who does not come from the horror community.
Well, it speaks to your guys' enthusiasm about like ultimately this was originally Dan's idea, prompted by the fact that I introduced the two of you to each other because I knew that you guys would get along. And so like it was kind of a perfect storm. More than anything, it was that you guys were so excited and you guys were like, hey, do you want to do this with us? And I was like, are you sure? And you guys were like, yeah. Yes, and so here I am. Who am I to say no at that point?
That's the magic, is because, you know, how many shows are always just like, you know, a bunch of people who's like, I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. This is one where we can actually sit here and have completely different perspectives and chew it over. That's why it's so great. Also, Ryan, I will say thank you for that Hunger poster that you gave me once upon a time. I have a beautiful frame for it. And I know you've never seen the movie, and I look forward to showing it to you sometime.
No, well, the reason that I gave it to you is because I haven't seen it in full, but I saw you showing it at the bar. I remembered. So for some backstory for those listening, the origin of all of this was twofold. One, my job, I work at Warner Brothers. They had a 100-year anniversary, and they were giving away all these old posters and product materials from all these ancient and like old films. And I got 2 production guys for, I think it was The Swarm.
Yes. And
then a poster for this movie that I visually recognized as having seen as a patron in the bar that I frequented and at the time Ian worked at. And so I picked them both up because the first 2 people I thought of that was like, I know people who would appreciate this for the Swarm production things were the 2 of you. And I saw the poster and I was like, and I know I've seen this. I'm like 90% sure. And so I picked those things up and was like, hey, these, I have no idea what these are. And this doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm sure this, like, I thought of you when I saw these and I thought you guys would like them. And then that was what made the connection of like, I really need to get these 2 guys in a room and talking.
Yeah.
So basically what we can say is this whole show comes down to Warner Brothers giving away their shit.
Yes.
Is what we can say.
They were clearing out a warehouse.
Thank you,
That's
Warner Brothers.
cool.
We greatly appreciate it, as do our dedicated listeners. And I will say, one day I can't wait to show you the frame I got for this, because I put this incredible, beautiful The Hunger poster, you know, the David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, Susan Sarandon poster, and I took it to a framing place near me, and the whole place stopped, and all of the framers like came around, and we were all like, they were nerding out over it. We were like trying stuff. There's like red velvet in there now, and like this beautiful frame for it. It was a very cool experience. So thank you again, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Dan, I brought it to the bar and he goes, this cannot be here. I have to take, can you make sure everything's good? I need to go put this in my car right now.
Oh yeah. Wow. It did not stay in the bar. Not safe in the bar. But that aside, we're not here to talk about The Hunger. One day, maybe. I hope that we get to do that movie. But today we are talking about Session 9. And I got to say, I've loved this movie since the first time I saw it, because it was so unusual for the time that it came out. At the time, everything was big, back into teen horrors. Dan, your kind of stuff, the Screams, the I Know What You Did Last Summer, the urban legends, all of that kind of stuff.
All of it.
There wasn't anything like this coming out at the time. So when I saw this, when it first came out, it was, to say it mildly, a breath of fresh air. It felt like something from the 70s. It felt like something like it was out of its time, because it's slow paced, because it's psychological, because it doesn't have necessarily any real jump scares. It's all about atmosphere and about tension, and it's about sound, and it's about feeling. And that was what made it feel so special to me. And I've kept a soft spot in my heart for it ever since. And this is probably 4th or 5th time I've watched it now. And it's still, to me, even though I kind of know all the beats of it, and I wonder, actually, this is one of the first things I'm going to ask. And I've done the spoiler warning, I believe. Bam, 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 spoiler warning. Session 9.
Now you are.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. I forgot if I'd done it. We were off talking about
you have other fun stuff. We're safe.
Bam, bam,
yeah,
bam.
Session 9. We're at spoiler alert.
Spoilers going forward for Session 9. Deep, big, bad spoilers. So the first time I watched it, one of the things I liked about it was it keeps you guessing to the very end. Who's done what's going on? 5 guys getting brought in to clean out all the asbestos and stuff from a gigantic, real insane asylum. And the things start going wrong fairly quickly. We start suspecting all of them of being up to no good. And eventually they start dying off one by one, and we have to figure out what exactly is going on. And to me, I'm wondering, because of course I knew what the end twist was the entire time. And so to me, everything just seemed so obvious now. I'm wondering how it played to you, Ryan, in particular. And Dan, I'm also curious what your experience was the first time versus this time. how telegraphed is it, and does it matter that the ending had a twist? How telegraphed is that twist, Ryan? How was it for you?
So it was and it wasn't in two different ways, I think. So I clocked pretty early that what Gordy is his name? Gordon?
Yeah.
I clocked pretty early that I'm like, I think he killed the wife and kid because he keeps calling, no one's answering. It's implied that maybe she doesn't want to talk or whatever. But I was like, the only time that we've seen them is from the car before he goes in. We've never seen them again. And we didn't see what happens when he went in. We don't even know if that is sequential with everything going on, was my theory. It was like, we don't know when that scene occurred in the chronology. And so I kind of clocked that one early. I wasn't certain of it. It was a suspicion, but it was one that ended up being accurate. On the flip side, I thought for sure that Phil was killing everyone. I thought that Phil killed Hank. I thought that he hired the dudes that ultimately it's implied that I think he just bought drugs.
He just bought some pot.
He bought pot.
Which was very, very naughty back in 2001.
Yeah. But it seemed like I thought for sure that Phil hired those guys to murk Hank. And then there's all the stuff about Phil like basically trying to undermine Gordy and doing all this weird stuff with the rest of the crew and trying to like consolidate power, and he's after the girlfriend and all this stuff. So I thought that, and then they also have the scene where he's coming after Gordy with the knife. I thought that Phil was the one making all these events go into motion because, and Sasha and I's running theory, or at least Sasha's theory, was that she thought that he was trying to take all the money for himself. That they were he was going to try and get all the work done, murk everyone along the way, and then collect all the bonus.
So that's kind of what I'm asking, because they throw so much dust in the air. Like they make it really clear early on, something's wrong with Gordy, something's wrong with the family, but then they throw so much other shit in the air at you, right? The smart guy, what is his name? Mike. Yeah. Right? The one who's always listening to the tapes. What's really going on with him? Why is he obsessed with the tapes? What's really going on with him and his dad and his failed law career? Yeah. Right. Like who's going for all of this money from the people that they burned in the crematorium, whatever the hell was going on down there. Right. Like, so they throw so much other stuff in the air that makes you kind of like, well, maybe it's not that. I don't know what's really going on. Yeah. Dan, did you feel like this time through that you liked the way that the narrative played with that, or to you was it did it not work?
No, I think it still works. I think the first time I watched it, either I didn't quite fully like understand the twist or what was going on, but I remember being like a little bit like let down and confused. And then the second time I watched it, I remember being like a little bit more in tune with it and like enjoying the twists that they did. I think this time around, the third, like I still really like the, kind of really pushing, is his name Phil then, like David Caruso's character?
Caruso, yeah.
So I really liked how they really are like kind of guiding you to thinking that he's just kind of like in it so that the twist works a little bit better. I just have to say now, after watching it the third time, like I just really feel like David Caruso's overacting in this whole movie. Like he's really trying so hard to be like
the you shot wasn't enough for you.
Yeah, it's just like he's doing a version of David Caruso acting, being David Caruso. Like he's going over, like he's always kind of that character, especially if you like watch CSI. And he's like always like that. I know what's going on all the time.
I'm a hard ass. I'm David Caruso.
Right, but it was like, like even talking about it now, it's like them trying to murder each other and stuff. It's like these guys aren't gangsters. They're just like they're cleaning up asbestos.
They're contractors.
I never met a contractor guy was like, whoa, this dude is like super scary. But they're acting in this like kind of like Breaking Bad sort of way of like, hey, I got a guy that can get the job done faster. Let's get him out of here and all this stuff. And I just felt like it felt a little too now over the top this third time that I hadn't felt before.
It's interesting because I thought Caruso, and that was one of the big criticisms of Caruso in the movies, because he, famously left NYPD Blue at its peak thinking he was bigger than that show and went to try to be a movie star. And that didn't quite work out. Could not get cast. And when he did get cast, he wasn't exactly good in the movies he was in. So he had to go crawling back to TV. And I think I agree with you and I don't agree with you. I think that he definitely overplays some stuff, and there's a lot of scenes where I see him trying to Caruso it up a little bit. But I've done some jobs like this, and I've met people like that where they're really intense about their job, and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like with the line that he gives to the other guy, right? He like the line he says to Mike, you know what you are? You clean asbestos. That's all you do. Like, don't get big britches here. But he's the one who's got the big britches for this job. He's like, hey man, if he's not working out for us, we got to call this other guy in. We got to cut out the lead guy, and I got to get my bonus here.
Right.
I've known dudes like that, and like maybe they weren't Carusoing it up too much, but for me it worked, and the character arc worked, even if the moment to moment playing of it was very Caruso. So, so that actually, I don't know. That kind of worked for me. So the through line of it played, but I guess what I want to ask then is, did the other elements of it, did it all kind of cohere together? Because you have some parallel things going on, right? You've got the suspicions for all these different characters. You have all the reasons why you suspect all these different characters of having something else going on, some ulterior motives. And at the meantime, you've got, they shot this in the real Danvers state hospital, in the real asylum, which was a place. They tore it down 5 or 6 years after this movie came out. They tore it. They gutted the main building and they tore everything else down. And it's actually kind of sad, because they could have done a lot with it, and instead they just gutted it. Yeah. But that being said, that was a very famous place. It's what Arkham in the Batman universe was based on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And this is what Arkham Asylum was based on, this actual asylum. And Arkham, the name Arkham Asylum comes from H.P. Lovecraft, who named the asylum Arkham after this asylum. So this it is actually a famous real place, and they really did shoot there, and weird shit did happen when they were shooting there. Gordon Fleming, Peter Mullen, the guy who plays Gordon Fleming, Mother Superior himself, on account of the length of his habit. For those people who have seen Trainspotting, he actually had a weird moment in this movie when they were shooting the roof scene, where in between takes he had like an uncontrollable urge to like a invasive thought to throw himself off the edge of the building, and he had to talk himself out of it. And Caruso said there was a bunch of weird shit going on in there, so like they had a bunch of like the building itself is a character. So you've got the through lines of all their characters. You have the building creating this incredible atmosphere. And then you have these tapes. And the thing I want to bring up now, which is the fucking sound design in this movie, which is just, Dan, incredible. I know you're a sound guy. Between the animal sounds and that creepy tape playing, what did you think about the sound design in this movie?
I mean, the sound design is just so key to this movie, and it's funny that like like we had just talked about Pontypool in the previous episode, and like I felt like sound design is so key to the aspect of that movie, but just like bringing to life these sessions, these tapes, like, and the layering of just showing, like the layering of Gordy flashing back to what might have been happening at his house. And then to like overlay it with footage of what you're seeing at the asylum, and then to like hear these tapes and then jumping around to different characters, like it really carried the movie. I just thought that the sound design is just so key into like the creepiness and the factor of it. I think that the score in times is a little iffy. Some of the moments that it takes. Yeah, for me there was a little some cheesiness to it. That I was like, that's a weird sound that they chose to use. But I think that the storytelling aspects of the tapes being used and what you're seeing as you're hearing the tapes was just really well done.
A parallel story. Ryan, what did you think about the music and the sound in the movie?
I agree and I disagree. I think that overall everything was very good. Really, there were two moments that kind of stuck out to me that took me out of it. And one of them, I do think they ended up kind of fixing narratively. It was just unfortunate that leading up to it, it was odd. But so the scene where they find they find the CD player before they find Hank in the basement. And Phil is going down the hallway with the flashlight or whatever. You can hear the jazz from the CD player prior to them finding the CD player, and he's walking down the hallway, and there's like a saxophone, and I was like, why do they have a saxophone in this scene? And like that definitely took me out. And then they do capitalize on it in the sense of like, oh, it's coming from the CD player, but there's that brief moment where he's walking down the hallway, and I'm like, why in the world did they put a saxophone in the scene? And it kind of actually harkened back to when we watched Angel Heart, of like how just blatant that soundtrack is. I was like, this is a very odd place for saxophone. But the other one that I actually think was kind of just odd and I didn't agree with was when he's first I don't remember the name. Mike, I think, is the one who goes through the tapes, right?
Yes. Mike is the lawyer, the failed out of law school guy. Yeah.
Yes. Who I had the briefest suspicion of, and then it didn't end up mattering. Right when he first finds the tapes in the first place, when he finds the box that says evidence and he cuts it open and he's like looking through stuff and he's filtering through the different folders of the sessions, they put in like a scream and an animal noise, and they're like cutting through it, and he cuts through the tape, and like Gordy cuts through his hand or something up above. They do this weird kind of like cut thing that's clearly meant to be suspenseful and kind of jumpy, but it feels really forced in that moment. Like it just feels really deliberately like, we're gonna make opening this box scary, and I'm like, okay, like come on, like sure, so you add a scream.
So not all the sound cues were working for you. What about the inserts of animals? What about the inserts of animals? Like the one thing I liked about this movie as well is the fact that it had a sense of ambiance around the place. It wasn't just getting shots of creepy hallways and getting shots of, the building. They were getting like shots of spiders and spider webs. They were getting shots of birds. They were getting shots of like moving trees and grass and stuff. They were getting atmosphere that I thought lent some really good texture to the movie. Did you guys pick up on those? Was that something that worked for you, or did it take you out of it?
I thought it was cool. I think that in general, this movie is shot very well. And visually, this movie is very unique and cool. I didn't really notice the sounds too much, which I think is actually a credit to it. I think that it was natural. They didn't really stand out to me, and I can't really think of any particular moments that I like heard animal noises that were marked for me. But I think that if anything, that proves that it was effective because it felt like it just blended in.
I mean, I agree with Ryan. Like, now that you're mentioning it, like I totally forgot that they even cut away to animals. Like, it just felt so natural to kind of help paint the environment. But I will have to say, what bothered me the first time I think I did see it, which is why like this, I needed to revisit it because I wanted to give it a better chance, was that this is like one of the first films shot on digital.
Yes.
And like you can really see it. Like you can see it, and you could see it back then too. Like it hadn't caught up yet. Like now you can shoot digital and it can like be very close to film, not be film yet, but like you could feel that this was a digital movie. And I know that took me out of it the first time I watched it, because I was like, it did, because like, like you said, it feels more like a classic. There's even a haunting ghost story feel to it, and so to like to not see that film, that 24 frames feel to your eyes, took me out of it the first time. But I think giving it a chance the second time, like I still see it every time I put this on. I still see and feel the digital aspect of it, but it doesn't bother me as much as I did the first time.
So that's interesting. I wonder if that's actually like you're putting that on this because it was shot in 24p. It was actually one of the first movies to be shot in 24p. But on digital. It was using a special Sony camera that did shoot 24p. Wow. But the way that it reads light is on digital, on video, right? And so like it does. Not even know that. So it actually might be more perceptual as opposed to the actual frame rate that you're getting there.
I guess so. Yeah. Because I still feel the digital moments of it, and it's probably especially like when they're walking with the characters and they're moving, like you can really feel that like digital feel where it almost feels like they're like, oh, I'm on a handy cam right now and I'm just gonna shoot this moment. When it's still and it's creepy, like that, like I forget about it. But it's especially the opening where they're taking a tour and they're very close in the faces of these guys and they're walking back, that I'm like, oh, this just feels like a video camera, not like a film camera to me.
That's funny, interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Well, you're too young. Everything you've seen has been on video. So
that's true.
I know. So, but it's funny. No, to that point though, for me, it actually lends kind of a verite feel to it, and I kind of dug that it makes you feel like you're present there, and it feels a little bit more intimate because of that the digital nature of it. But that's interesting that we have the different feel on that. But you Ryan, I think you mentioned scariness. What were you guys scared at all? Did this movie scare you? Did it freak you out? Did it get under your skin? Did it weird you out? What was this movie scary?
I think this movie gets interesting. It does take a long time to ratchet up. Its setup is good, and then there's kind of a lull before it gets rolling of like you've got a couple things going on, but nothing that's really has too much momentum. And I don't remember which day it was. I want to say it was like Wednesday or something. They've got all the days, right, with the key cards. I think it was like Wednesday that Sasha said out loud, "Is it only Wednesday?" Like there was definitely like some drive that needed to happen earlier, but I do think it really starts cooking towards the end. And I think that like I actually kind of forgot by the end that it had felt slow at the beginning, which was good. But I think that most of the scary aspect comes in at the very end. It's one of those ones that almost feels like it's a very slow burn thing. Even when they're doing like the split up suspense of everyone's kind of finding out different stuff, I don't necessarily feel like it was scary up until like the big reveal stuff is really where most of the scare comes in. Otherwise, it's kind of mystery vibes. It's got a little bit of that noir feel of like you're trying to piece together all the pieces. It's not really until you come in and Hank's lying on the floor that you're like, okay, we're real now.
Yeah. Not to the trepanation. Da da da. That scene. Oh yeah, we picked off the glasses, take the glasses off of Hank. You have that nice big rod shoved into his eye socket.
Oof.
Oh.
I will say though, can we talk about how brilliant the shot is of I can't remember the name of the nephew. But when they set up that he's afraid of the dark and they're not able to capitalize it, and then the generator's going down and then they have it, which is not how light would work, that it would be this rolling turn off, but it's such a cool shot.
Doesn't matter.
So good.
Oh my
doesn't
God.
Matter.
Like
so
such
good.
A brilliant setup and execution of like they wait the whole movie to capitalize on that he's scared of the dark. And then he's just so genuinely terrified and just sprinting. Brilliant
screaming.
Shot.
Screaming and screaming.
If you're talking about the fear of like, or did any part scare you? It wasn't necessarily scary, but that whole sequence, the way that they were cutting around and jumping through all of them and how they were experiencing their moments, I thought that was a really good culmination. And then of course, any time that he was listening to the tapes really freaked me out. Just because like my brain would just go to these like I would try to picture these interviews and they were just very unsettling, a lot of the sound design in that.
And that was
really good.
One of the most brilliant parts about it, and especially I thought it was a killer last line of the movie that really ding, like the, what is it they call it, the Prestige, right? You've got the magic trick. The magic trick
I
is
love the Prestige.
Great movie.
That's such a good movie.
Brilliant movie, because the movie itself is a magic trick that gives you the big trick, right? The twist, which we won't spoil here because we have not done a spoiler warning for that movie.
It's one of my favorites of all time. I love that movie.
But that movie has something that happens afterwards. It too has a prestige. It has something extra that's the thing that stays with you, right? And that's what happens with Session 9. You have the big reveal at the end that the whole time Gordy's been dissociating and he's been starting to lose his mind. And he finally snaps and kills everyone, including, shout out, Larry Fessenden, who comes in at the end. The guy, Craig, the guy that comes in at the end.
Craig McManus.
Craig McManus is here. But that's Larry Fessenden. He is a legend in indie horror. And so it's a nice little cameo from Larry there. But he comes in to just get trepanated.
Yep.
And so we think that's it. And then they have the last little bit of tape plays. When what's the name of the alter
Simon.
ego? Simon. When Simon says, where do you live, Simon? I live in the weak and the wounded.
Yeah. So good.
Credits and credits and Lou Barlow plays, and it's just that to me was just such a nice, strong little prestige ending there. And I got the goosies even saying it right now.
Really?
Because what a nice little layer that it leaves you with. It makes you go, wait a second. Was he really going insane? Did he really snap? Or is Simon some sort of entity? Mm-hmm. Is Simon something that exists externally that infected them when they came into the asylum?
Yep.
Is it both? Which is it? It's a little something extra.
This is the first time I actually looked up what people had said or like the plot of the movie after this third viewing. What I didn't realize, and maybe I didn't catch it, or maybe it wasn't like explained properly, was that he kills his wife and newborn the day that he gets the job
from the get.
So it's like if Simon is an entity, that could make sense. Is that he found the weak and the wounded person to take over, and then boom, during the tour took him, and then there you go.
Because literally during the tour, you establish one of the very first times he hears something, he's just like, "You can hear me," or whatever.
And notice he doesn't kill his wife till after that.
Mm-hmm.
According to the timeline, he goes there, begs for the job, and then goes home and aces her and the kid. And that's why the next day he comes in with the burned leg.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do
because the burn.
So they do establish that Simon may have been talking to him from the get. So was that in his head? Is Simon an entity that lives in the hospital? We'll never know.
Wow.
But that's a little question it leaves.
Wow.
I will say it's so surprising to me that like the ending was so powerful for you, because I felt like the ending was cheesy. I felt like the ending undermined most of the well, I shouldn't say undermined, but I felt like it was kind of a cop out in the sense that like the reveal that it's Gordy and that Gordy's been going through all this stuff is powerful and is good. And then I felt like having the last line be Simon, and like the reveal of Simon is good, the tapes are good, the interviews are good. I think that pretty much all of it tracks for me. Literally just the writing of that last line of I live in the weak and the wounded felt it didn't have that weight for me. And I felt like it was a letdown moment of like, if that's the thing you're going to end on, I wanted that to be stronger.
Really? Wow. I'm sad. You make me sad.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I liked the twist. I thought that because I was so in on Phil, and the fact that like Phil, like he's seeing Phil and Phil vanishes, and then you get all the different like montage of how all of them die. Like I thought that was very good.
You just hate David Caruso. You're just like, fuck that David Caruso guy.
I mean, David Caruso sucks in this movie. I'm not as an actor. The character sucks. Phil sucks.
Yeah. Well, so is he getting the Mike Logan?
All right, no. My full
Mike
nomination
Logan.
Is Mike Logan is Phil for 1,000%.
Mike Logan Award.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else could deserve.
No, it's David Caruso.
It's Phil.
Even though he's
Phil.
a
dick the whole time to everyone.
He really is.
He's I don't know. He's power grubbing. He's trying to control the situation. He's greedy.
But what about Amy? Left him for an even bigger dick and Hank.
Amy's not even on screen.
Amy spinning off, making Phil crazy, making David Caruso crazy.
Phil's a dick the whole movie. Maybe he was a dick to Amy. We don't know.
I admit, I'm trying to find another Juno here. It was the wife. The freaking wife, man. If she had back talked to Gordon, okay, I'm going to get myself.
I really think it was Phil.
I'm going to get myself in trouble here. All right, I'll give it to Phil. Yeah, Phil.
Yeah, it's Phil. Phil's our guy.
Hold on. Hold on. We can do the impression. Fuck you, Phil.
That is
CSI
all right.
Miami.
It's official. Ryan Ross Live is trying out for the next season of CSI or NYPD Blue or whatever he's on now.
No, does he do that in the show too? He does it in the movie.
No,
he's just always over the top.
F-bombs don't fly on TV.
He's like, I didn't know that there'd be a dead body on the beach, even though that happens every day.
Oh, is he the guy with the glasses?
The glasses.
Yes. That's him?
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
him.
God.
That's him.
I've never watched watched the show, but I know that meme. That meme was super popular when I was in college.
That's the guy. Yeah. That's the guy. He did.
Pun glasses thing. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And notice they didn't give him glasses in this movie.
Yeah,
possibly for that exact reason.
No, the glasses go to Hank. Poor Hank.
That's true. Yeah, Hank. Well, Hank needed them with the extra thing in his eye socket there. All right, so we've got our Mike Logan, but that means it's time to figure out why someone died. It's the name of the show. We got to figure out why someone died in a dumb way in session 9. We've got a few. We have a few candidates here for some deaths. What do you got, guy? Well, I guess it was me. It was my movie, so I've got to go first and say why someone died. That's it. I had not thought ahead about this, and so
what do you want? You can pass it.
Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna say for the wife. The wife, don't spill boiling water on Mother Superior. No. He will leave you to die. He will just leave you on the street to OD. I'm flashing back to Train Spotting again. I can't help it. But no, it's what.
I mean, yeah, she hadn't burned him.
She'd still be alive. So I'm gonna stick with that one.
He say himself it was an accident, and also they just had a newborn, so they're probably both sleep deprived and struggling.
Yeah,
that's true. Dan would know more about that than either of us would, though, Ryan. So
true.
But I'm saying, would he have gone into a violent, murderous rage with or without Simon? If she hadn't,
I don't know.
Been boiling.
I don't think so.
I
think you're onto something.
Don't eat pasta.
I really do.
Bad. It's bad carbs. You don't need it. The Italians make theirs at home. In America, we have this horrible starchy stuff. Don't do pasta. You'll end up dead at the hands of some crazed Scotsman. Dan, March of Madness. Tell us why someone died before I get myself in more trouble.
Give me the guy. Who's the guy again that goes down into the basement and disappears? Hank. Yeah. Hank. I'm gonna go with Hank because I'm gonna say because he was greedy. He was a greedy dude. He wanted to find those coins. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like he put himself in the situation to be able to be killed fairly easily by being like down in the dark and not being able to see. So,
and all alone in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Greed got him. Yep.
Greed got him.
That's my guy.
Greed got him. Yeah, and also particularly nasty kind of greed. You're digging through ashes of people and like pieces of hair and shit to take their coins, bro.
Well, also, why were there so many coins in the wall?
Had it coming because there were so many people that they burned.
But what's with all the coins?
Just go.
They're all just carrying around their loose change, and then they all end up behind one brick by themselves.
Yeah, like, of course, it would have been, just been like a couple of bucks back in the 1800s. It's like loose change.
It was like a little stockpile of some little pirate trove of silver dollars from the 1860s.
It was the fog. It was the pirates from the fog.
It's true.
That's right.
They used the portion that wasn't melted into the crucifix.
That's right. They were that high that they just stuffed it all back there and forgot about it.
Do you remember where you put the silver dollars?
No. I think I put it somewhere in Massachusetts. Ryan Ross Live, tell us why someone died in session 9.
As much as I would like to go with Phil, I'm going to go with Jeff, the nephew.
Jeff?
Oh.
What?
Poor Jeff, dude. Jeff is scared out of his wits. He goes to the van. He calls his loving uncle that he's trying to impress. Is like, look, I'm by the van. And he's eating Oreos. Here's where he goes wrong. He sees his blood-stained uncle coming down the road at him. He's super bloody. He sees him from quite a distance away. And what does he do? He stands up and he apologizes for eating his Oreos. At no point does he go, why are you covered in blood? At no point does he go, why do you have a knife curved little slicer thing? At no point does he go, why are you rushing at me? He goes, hey man, I'm so sorry. I ate some Oreos from your truck. Come on.
It's right there though, Ryan. He shouldn't have eaten the Oreo. Don't fuck with the crazy person's Oreos. Like, uncle or not.
Or just
uncle
run.
Or not.
We could just say run. Like,
no, well, yeah,
if there's a blood-soaked man coming after you, I don't care if he's your uncle, maybe put some distance. Use your legs, not your mouth.
if you've eaten his sweet snacks, then you definitely need to be putting some distance because the man's coming for you. He's hungry. He's hangry. He's coming for you.
Sleep deprived.
That's right.
Sleep deprived. Yeah.
Sleep deprived. He's been living off of peanut butter in the basement of an insane asylum. You steal his Oreo, the man's going to lose his shit. All right. That's the bottom line. I think that, good one.
Also, what hustle for a dude with a burned leg?
You know, when you see someone
the movie and then he's just booking it.
When you see someone eating your cookies, you get real motivated real quick.
You care about Oreos far more than me, clearly.
You know what? In that moment, I was like, yeah, Gordon, I get it. Man's eating your cookies. Okay? Man's eating your cookies. Get your hand out of the cookie jar. All right, so Scully time. We got to rate this movie, and you guys have me scared, I have to admit. You guys have me a little nervous.
I think I'm going to surprise you on this one.
Yeah, oh, God, I hope so. But I is my movie, so I will call mine out first. I was going back and forth between a 7.5 and an 8. It's not a world-ending movie. It's not like the greatest movie of all time, but it's a damn solid, underappreciated, spooky, little chilling movie. I'm going to have to land on an 8 here. I think depending on what day I get out of bed, it could be a 7.5 or an 8, but I'm going to go high today because you guys have scared me with what you've been saying. So I'm going to go a little high on session 9. And also because this is kind of like my kind of psychological movie. If you're not going to give me a whole bunch of like gore and special effects and cool, fun stuff, if you want to like really slow burn it, this is how you do it, with sound, with visuals, with performances, interesting twists and turns. And Ryan, you and I are going to have to agree to disagree. I love that final line. I think it's a great.
That's totally fair. I respect it. That was just my reaction.
A difference of opinion, but an 8 skulls for me. And Dan March Madness, you take our second one here. How many skulls are you giving to session 9?
I'm matching you with an 8. It honestly was gonna be lower, but after talking through this and then really seeing the aspects of the importance of Simon and the way that was cut together, and I definitely think it deserves an 8. David Caruso's acting still knocks it down because it's way over the top, but it's a good movie, and I can look past the odd digitalness of it from its early days.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Yeah. An 8. I feel bad because I feel like David's getting Carusified on this show. Ryan Ross live. Fuck you. Ryan Ross live. Give a Scully rating to session 9.
All right, I'm gonna be the low one today, but not terribly. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's good. I think the ending's good for the most part. I do think that line falls flat. I thought the tapes were really cool, but I do feel like that last bit feels a little shoehorned. I thought the reveal was cool. I do think that they did a good job pushing me off to Phil for most of the movie and then eventually getting back. It does have pacing issues. And also I think it's a pretty glaring issue of they're looking for Hank for like a whole day, and Hank drove there. So his car's nearby and they never find his car or even have any hint that he's there.
Or Simon drove it away.
I mean, that's true, but they don't establish that at all. If that happens,
I'm just saying,
off screen.
It's an easy plot hole to close if you really want to.
I mean, yes, but also we'd have to imply that, right? That was one thing that I was like, hey, like he drove there in the middle of the night and now he's missing and nobody's found his car.
Think, how were they going to close that without, Gordy driving it away? Like you had to leave it open that he could have possibly driven away as well and have that.
That's true. I mean, or the thing is like just have it so that he hit his car because he doesn't want to be seen or whatever. Like I feel like there were ways they could have done it that they didn't.
Sure. Okay.
But I do think overall it's a good movie. It was creepy. I did love the like tape Asylum vibe. And I think they do a good job of leading you with some red herrings to viable conclusions that then the twist is still satisfying. So I think a 7.
All right, a 7 it is, which is, I'm not going to lie, I thought you were going to give it 0.5 higher, but then now's the time where I have a bit of an admission, is that the main reason I picked this one over Gonjam Haunted Asylum is specifically because of something that you, Ryan, said on our season finale for season 1.
Whoa.
And that was and that was that you thought Alien was slow, and you thought that it was too much atmosphere and slow pacing and stuff. And so I wanted to find a movie that also had some slow pacing and was a lot about atmosphere, but at the same time, you know, eventually it gets somewhere. But this one, not a lot happens for most of the movie. It's
That's
atmosphere. True. It's about putting little pieces in place, building things up, and not a lot happens. And then in the end, things finally happen. But you have to get there. And I was wondering if you were going to come in and be like, oh, this movie's so boring for the first half. And you did kind of say you were waiting for things to happen, but it wasn't, you didn't have the same reaction as Alien. And I find that interesting.
No, yeah, I don't think this one's as glaring, frankly, because I think that the difference, at least for me, right? I think the difference between this and Alien is Alien, almost everybody dies at the end, which is similar to this movie, but Alien spends a lot of time, like the whole chess scene and like all the stuff, like there's a lot of time where the killer is active, where the alien is active and like moving around, and they're trying to keep the suspense high for a very long time. But not a lot actually occurs. Whereas this one, because you're trying to solve where the killer is coming from, who is doing these things, there's more to latch on to, like cerebrally, I guess, in terms of like you're trying to This one has a mystery element. The Alien doesn't really have a mystery as much as it is, where is the alien, right? The alien is somewhere and we don't know where it is, but that's a lot shallower experience to unpack than we have these multiple men with different motives and different like things that they're trying to do, and there's a tight timeline, and you're trying to figure out, everyone's sneaking off and doing their own things. You've got more variables at play than one big old plastic like suit.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to be defending yourself about your Alien opinion for the rest of the existence of this show, but fair enough. You dodged a bullet on this one. You explained yourself, and you gave session 9 a 7, and along with a 2 8s from myself and Dan March of Madness. So all right, so definitely a movie that's worth checking out. It is kind of an underseen gem, I think. It's one that's kind of been lost to history a little bit, but between the visuals and the storytelling and the ending and the sound design, it's a solid one to check out. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that means that I am out of a prompt. I've got to pick a new one. So I'm gonna reach up here into my little skull, my skull of the beast.
And while he draws,
yes. What are you guys sitting on?
And then Dan, you're about to reveal for.
I'm about to reveal
Lucio Fulci.
Lucio Fulci.
Oh my god! I'm so excited for that one.
What do you have?
All right, I have dug around and I'm picking out now, and it is very small. It's a very small word. I feel like we've had this one before, and I don't know how it got back in here. Lost. Have we had Lost?
True.
We did.
That was from season 1.
That was for the Empty Man, right?
That's correct.
We have 666
oh my gosh.
prompts.
How did
this one get back in here, and how did I pick it?
Well, let me see.
This one needs to be lost. What the hell? That's incredible. All right.
I thought it was empty. Yeah, okay. Choose again, sir.
What are the odds? Between
you might have more than 666 in there if you have
1 in 666. So 1 in 667. That's insane. It's insane odds. Go to Vegas on those odds. All right, I picked out a second one here, and it is Lucio Fulci. I'm kidding.
No, it is.
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Like, this is crazy.
It is. Let's see if no, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Is it missing?
It's missing.
That's good.
Missing.
It's a good one.
Actually, ironically, not that different.
Very similar
from
to Lost. Yeah. I feel like the bucket of the beast is trying to tell me something.
Apparently.
Watch The Empty Man again.
I wouldn't be mad at that. All right, so I have to come up with one for missing, and Ryan is coming up with one for electricity. And right now, Dan March of Madness, it is your time to shine. Tell us, please, what Lucio Fulci, what Italian horror film are we going to watch?
I would like to introduce you to another bad horror fan here who has not seen a Fulci film.
Ooh.
So, because I have not seen it, because I feel like I looked and I was like, if I'm gonna see a Fulci film, I gotta start with a classic. So we're gonna do The Beyond.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. I'm not too much up on Fulci, but I've heard that if you are just going to discover him, that's kind of got the best of what he does all kind of wrapped up into one story.
I would tend to agree with that. I was actually hoping that you were going to say that or Zombie 2, which was his follow-up to Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And
okay.
And either one of those two, I feel like would have given you a good dose of Fulci. And there's a couple of others I would have been like, okay, cool, too. But The Beyond is a good one. And I'm very excited to see what you guys think of that movie because it's a trip. It's a lot.
That's what I'm hoping for. Let's get weird again. Let's get weird.
We're gonna get weird. We're gonna get weird. I cannot.
Like this is the first time Dan's made a movie pick and be like, let's get weird with it. I feel like
come on.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm actually very much looking forward to our next episode where we will be watching Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Oh my God, that's going to be a hell of an episode. Everyone, please tune in for that. But in the meantime, please go and check out all of our socials, beacons.ai/TIWD, TIWYD.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll get it. I'm thrown by the fact that we're going to watch The Beyond. I'm so excited by that. beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. And you know what? That's a place where you can see our Patreon. You can join up for our Patreon, get some extra content. You can go and find our merch. You can see all of our socials, everything. And you can even find us, like our individual socials there. Like it's got everything on it right now. Tell all your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, tell your neighbor.
Your pets.
Yeah, everybody. Get them all to listen to the show. Get them all to check out the show right here on YouTube, right here on your podcast app of choice. But for Ryan Ross Live, for Dan March of Madness, thanks for checking out our episode about Session 9. We will see you next time right here on
This Is Why You Die.